Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Ryan Rekt Rank. I don't know how to Rekt.
Ryan Rekt Ranked.
Rekt Ranked. I didn't get emails about this, but I kind of noticed. Did I spell Rekt wrong? Is it R-E-K-T?
Yes.
Okay, I spelt it
I have to Google this.
Google it because I spelled
the internet.
I spelled it like the short form of rectangle, and every time I wrote Rekt, I almost continued to write rectangle, and I'm like, no, this isn't Ryan Rectangle Ranked. That would be...
No, it's R-E-K-T.
Okay, I'll fix that. But you know what? This is a learning process, and I think the title being wrong of a new learning process YouTube series is kind of fitting.
Funny?
Yeah, funning as well. It's funny. I'm Ryan Murphy, and once again, episode 2, I am joined by Jocelyn Moffett. Hello, Jocelyn.
Hello, Ryan.
Hello. I was like, are we recording Gamers In?
That's what it feels like, eh?
It does. So, your homework. You gave me homework last week. Let's recap.
I did. I'm excited to hear how you did with that, actually.
Oh, well. So, my homework last week was to complete every daily quest that came in, and I'm going to just open my quest log here. As you know, it says no quests. I did not dismiss one.
Not even one?
Not even one. And
I'm impressed.
I want to share with you why I was both happy and upset with myself for not dismissing ones, because I feel like with quests, you are presented with quests that you know you're never going to want to finish, because it's like, get 3 wins with a shaman, and it's like, I don't have a shaman deck. Like, look at my progress here. I've actually, funny enough, with these quests, have leveled up some of my characters to level 10 to get all my base classes. It's just priest, my lowly priest. And the problem with doing quests is that you can't get anywhere in ranked by doing your quests. I find I always lose, considering I don't have one good deck, let alone 9. So I was this close to picking up, which is what we're going to do today, picking up the expansion. I did not buy it. I did not pre-purchase. And I remember you saying that you were like, I was probably going to do that, but I didn't.
Yeah. I totally thought you were going to cave.
It was close. What happened was I was sitting there Sunday night. They had announced when it was coming out, and I was sitting on the buy page on my iPhone. I actually clicked on pre-purchase, typed in my password for iOS, and then was like, and then canceled it. And then I asked everybody in the room, and I said, like, look, should I spend $50 on Hearthstone and get a bunch of packs? And then everybody in the room was like, no, you should not.
What room was this?
It was at my in-laws. We were having dinner. So it was a kind of biased room.
Gee, you think? If that was a room full of nerds, they would have given you a different answer.
I know. And the funny thing is that I asked on Twitter, and again, I got very similar answers as I did at my in-laws. Not similar. I mean, they didn't call me a nerd and say, don't spend money on cards. And I was like, what? You're mean. Stop it. Jimmy actually said, like, look, until you realize you're fully in, and you're not fully in, like, you've done one episode. You won one game with the help of Jocelyn Moffett of the Angry Chicken. Like, you can't say you're all in. That's not how this works. So I opted not to do it, even though the card back was pretty awesome. So, yeah, it was kind of painful to not do that, but then I listened to the latest Angry Chicken and how you guys fared with your 50 packs, and it sounded like I would not have been happy, or at least...
Well, the thing is, it's always random, right? Because we've had just as many people that had terrible experiences like Garrett have tweeted us with awesome experiences, like, I got 7 legendaries in 10 packs, it was amazing, and 2 of them were golden, and I'm like, I hate your stupid face.
Exactly. And today might be different, right?
It happens. Yeah.
Like, as you can see, I've collected about 1,000 gold over the course of my...
Which is amazing.
Exactly.
Because you only had, like, 100 or 150 gold when we were talking last week?
Yeah.
So, yeah, dude, you've done so well.
Yeah, I've been playing at lunch on my iPhone, which I actually do enjoy. I have an iPhone 5, probably the smallest screen you can play this thing on, and...
I think technically it's playable on a 4S. which is a smallish. Well, when I say technically playable, I mean like the app will run. I play it on my 6, and I used to play it on my 5, and it's a big difference, the screen size, the 5 to the 6. The 6 I find enjoyable. The 5 was pretty small.
Right. So
I would not want to try it on a 4.
No, I wouldn't either. I've been really enjoying it. I enjoyed the Tavern Brawl. I was using that to get some quests done, and I think the thing I learned was, and the reason I almost bought the expansion, the pre-purchase, was that I feel like if treating this, I don't want to treat this as a free-to-play experience. I almost want to treat it as if like I enjoy Hearthstone, and what's the next step? And I think the next step really is to put money into cards. Because I feel that doing those quests, there were days where I loved Hearthstone, and there were days that I hated Hearthstone. Like when I had to play as a shaman.
Yes.
And
the shaman cards in the Grand Tournament are pretty freaking sweet. I've made a totem shaman deck today, and I was having so much fun. I both wrecked and got wrecked by it on ladder, because there's other people playing the same sort of totem shaman decks.
Exactly.
It's a lot of fun. It's been a long time since shaman's actually been really fun to play, so...
Yeah, and again, folks, if you're a shaman, as they call it in the, I don't know who calls it that, but
Patrick.
All right, if you're a shaman in the Hearthstone, then you're probably saying, Ryan, stop saying weird words, and also stop making fun of shaman class, because I like shamans, and that's fine. It's just that I don't have a deck for it, and that's the whole point of this series. So I have 1,000 gold. We're gonna buy 10 packs. We're gonna open them all up.
I actually think that there's a way to do this so you can buy 10 at once, because I went through and bought 20 by clicking buy over and over and over and over again. I think if you like right click on one.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
Perfect. 10.
So 10 and then okay. Yeah. There you go. I saw Patrick do it on stream today, and I was like, what?
You nailed it.
I literally went like one pack, 20 times.
Oh dear. Well, that would have been more entertaining, right? But this is like finding the run button, and everybody's gone to Rapture. We figured it out. So now we have 10 packs. They don't jiggle. Oh, they do.
Yeah, you just have to wait a second, and they'll jiggle.
I thought maybe
very excited. They want to be opened. Oh my god!
I thought maybe you had to pre-purchase for to get the jiggle. You know. All right, here's the first one. So something else I realized was the mouse over. I had no idea that was a thing.
Yeah.
So like the glowy blue is rare?
Yes, so you get a glow depending on what the rarity of the card is. So if there's no glow, that's the commons. And if there's blue, that's your rares. So you're guaranteed to get 1 rare per pack, and then or 1 rare or better. And then the purple is epics, and then the orange is legendary.
And then see, that to me, like, I didn't realize that was a thing. Like, I know you're gonna find out no matter what, but I thought half the fun was like clicking on it. It's like, oh my god, it's that card.
Well, and you still can. If you click fast enough, you can't see the glow, and then it's just like rare.
So this Dragonhawk Rider was one of the characters that you could actually get in the mage deck for Tavern Brawl, and I kind of dug it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's the thing. Is like I don't know if he fits. Like Wind Fury seems like a pretty cool thing to me.
Wind Fury is a really cool thing, and it just kind of depends what kind of a deck you're trying to build. There are better Inspire cards than that one, but if you're trying to build an Inspire deck and you only have so many, then there's nothing wrong with that one to fill in some space. Really what it comes down to, a lot of people are saying, is that when you're building decks, the decks got so refined in GVG and then Blackrock Mountain that, you know, like 1 or 2 cards from the new expansion fits in well, but that's like there's a lot of almost wasted cards because the decks are already so good. So unless you're building something totally completely new, so like Dragon Warrior, and even then that's half old cards. Totem Shaman's probably like the newest, hottest sort of thing. Same with, there's a couple of priest decks out there too that are really interesting, but I still haven't seen anybody make a really good, viable Inspire deck. So,
but this is probably like not the greatest. I've seen a lot of Inspire powers that give like +1. There was one, I think it was that was used on me today. It was a card, and we might even run into it, so I won't spend too much time trying to remember what it was. But he basically threw bananas at everybody. And
that's Mukla's champion.
Yeah, so he was pretty annoying, and it was kind of like, all right, I'm going to concede because you've got like 16 people on the board with like 3. So
Yeah.
All right. Another common. We got a Buccaneer.
Oh, Pirate Rogue is definitely a thing now.
Okay.
There's a lot of new tools for the Pirate Rogue, which is pretty cool, actually.
So a Pirate Rogue deck. I'm going to do the rare last. I know there's some people are kind of like, oh, you should start with, whatever. We're going to do that last. So we got the Clockwork Knight, give a friendly mech. So that's good for, like, I know mech mage is a phrase tossed around. I sometimes I feel like I know what I'm talking about because that guy's a mage and he's throwing mechs. That's a mech mage deck, but that might not actually be true.
That's pretty much exactly what it is.
Okay, perfect. So that
again, Clockwork Knight, not terrible. Give a friendly mech +1/+1. The thing is, you have to have a mech on board in order to make this card good. And sometimes that's not possible.
Yeah, it's tough.
People are pretty savvy with Mech Mage now. Mech Mage was a thing when Goblins vs. Gnomes first came out. Mm-hmm. So that was, back December, January, February sort of thing. And so now pretty much everyone knows how to counter it, play against it, all that kind of stuff. So it's not as powerful as it used to be. Mm-hmm. So your mechs get removed really quickly.
Yeah.
They don't tend to snowball as much unless you get a really good opening and your opponent gets a really bad opening. Then you can kind of snowball your mechs, but yeah. Mech Mage is kind of fallen out of favor, and this card is not really powerful enough.
Okay. We've got, this guy is just a generic beast, I guess. He was in the Hunter deck, I think.
Yeah.
So we all know who that is. Rare. Sparring partner.
So that's really cool. That guy goes in the Taunt Warrior deck, so the idea behind him is basically you play him, he has taunt, and you can either give one of your other minions taunt or one of your opponent's minions. And you might think, oh no, that's bad. I don't want my opponent to have taunt. But the thing is, if he already has like one taunt creature up, you can kind of like grab another creature from behind him and pull him forward sort of thing. So by giving something taunt that he's trying to protect, you're basically making it killable now.
Right.
Because you're bringing it up to the front.
That's actually a really cool card because if you're spending time fighting an Inspire deck, that might be a good way to pull someone who's constantly buffing the other person's.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm getting there. Oh, these flowers are so pretty. What do we got? We got a rare, of course, and a bunch of commons, as is to be expected. Tuskar Totemic.
Yes.
Totemic. Summon any random totem. Okay.
So basically, you play that guy, and he summons any random totem that a shaman could possibly get. So you have your 4 totems from your hero power. So there's healing, spell power, taunt, and the fire one, the 1/1 that does, yeah.
Cool.
But then there's also the Totem Golem, I think. He's a 3/4. And he counts as a totem. There's your Flame Tongue totem, which buffs your dudes on either side. There's your Vitality totem that heals your hero for like 4 or 5 every turn. There's your the one that draws you a card at the end of every turn. There's like a water sound effect. Yeah, why am I blanking on this?
I don't know. It's man. Wind Waker.
Nope.
No,
but
that's not
close.
It. Wind Shaker.
No.
Wind
It's
Flaker.
not wind. It's water.
Oh, right. What am I saying?
Fire, heart. Whatever.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. What's their hit?
I was going for Captain Planet, but
I was going for the hit 70s band. I don't know if they're a hit. All right. Ancestral Knowledge. Draw 2 cards. So that's basically like the shaman's version of Intellect or whatever.
Arcane Intellect, yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And
that's
then
cool.
So the difference in costing there is Arcane Intellect costs you 3 mana. Period. Ancestral Knowledge costs you 4, but split over 2 turns.
Right.
So you can cast it sooner, but then it costs you more, or it costs you again the next turn, essentially.
Okay, that makes sense. So, but you get 2 cards, but
you do get 2 cards, you get them sooner, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Tournament Attendee is terrible.
Yeah, so I've heard. He's I haven't heard. I just look at him. It's like he's a 1 mana. Like that's. If you really don't have any better 1 mana cards, I guess, but I'll take your word for it. It's a taunt, which is weird.
The only thing is that since he has 2 attack and 1 health, I mean he can be removed so easily. But if for some reason he isn't removed, he trades up with a lot of things. Like he will kill a Knife Juggler, he'll kill all of those kind of like 3/2 minions. But that's very small upside.
I suppose. And then our first duplicate, the Dragonhawk Rider. We love him so much. And then our rare, Power Shot. Deal 2 damage to a minion and the minions next to it. That seems pretty good for a 3-mana spell for Hunter.
It is, actually. Power Shot's quite good.
Yeah. I love it.
It's another tool that allows Hunter to control the game a little bit earlier and kind of push it into late game. So it's another control Hunter kind of a thing. So you wouldn't play this in a face Hunter deck, but you would play this in, like, if you're playing a Hunter, you want to get to late game, you have a lot of big beasts, and you're going up against a lot of really aggressive decks.
Okay. That seems good. It seems like that's the new spell to add to your Hunter deck, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep moving on. Keep on trucking. Let's take a cheat sheet. I was just like, I didn't see any rares.
I did that a couple times on stream yesterday. I was like, oh my god,
what's happening? Bash, deal 3 damage, gain 3 armor. That seems like a pretty stellar, just a new spell for a warrior deck, I suppose.
Yeah, no, Bash is really good.
Seems standard. Oh, This one. I had some trouble with this one. I saw it a couple times.
Yeah, that gets out of control really quickly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the fact that it has 5 health, and you really just got to throw it in behind, like, maybe 1 successful attack, and then it has 5/5, and from there it just gets crazy. Yeah. But I know a lot of the priest, maybe, do you think priest might be a really good class for Inspire? Because I know they have a lot of different, like, when you heal, they have a lot of cards that do, like, when you heal a minion, do X. And that feels like almost Inspire before Inspire was a thing.
In general, there were a lot of things that priests could do when they healed characters. So they got more cards that do that don't necessarily say Inspire. And that's kind of good because they have just a lot of healing spells. Mm-hmm. So they've got Circle of Healing. They now have Flash Heal. And those aren't necessarily the hero power. But basically now, if you combine those whenever characters healed cards with the actual Inspire cards, Priest got really, really powerful in this expansion, which is good because they haven't been for a really long time. So Priest is actually next up on my list once I'm done playing around with Warrior and Shaman.
Yeah, and I guess I probably should correct myself. This isn't even an Inspire card. It's just another Priest when
It's
healed.
just another Priest heal card. It's not limited to the hero power. It's just a healing mechanic, which is pretty crazy.
I like the art too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that looks amazing in gold. All the tournament cards that I've seen in gold versions look awesome. Oh, there's your Totem Golem. So that's the really, really beefy dude. Only 2 mana. And he actually counts as a totem. So your Tuskar dude could potentially summon him. Which is crazy. So you play a 3/2 for 3 mana and then potentially get a 3/4 with no mana cost. Like no downside.
And there's not a lot of like totems, so
no, there's not a lot of totems.
And there's another duplicate, our friendly Clockwork Knight.
Yeah.
All right, Thunderbluff Valiant.
That is incredibly powerful, and this kind of makes your totem decks work. Well, actually, there's 4 cards really, and we've seen now 3 of them that really make your totem decks work. And this one, basically, what you're doing when you're inspiring is you're summoning a totem. So you summon that totem, and immediately it and any other totems that you happen to have on board get +2 attack. So it's using your 2 mana instead of summoning just a 0/2, you're getting a 2/2 or a 3/1. And all your other totems get that buff too, and it sticks. It's not a buff that goes away. So then if you summon a totem the next turn, all your totems again get another 2 attack. So again, that one's one that snowballs really quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I've had when I was playing around with Shaman and I needed my 3 wins, I did have a couple games where I did control the board with maybe 2 or 3 totems on there, and if you're really buffing it, like +2 to each one, even though they all probably start close to, if not 0. And if this one is considered a totem, which it is,
yeah.
like,
so it gets the buff. Yeah,
that's pretty nuts. So I mean, we're 3 packs in, and it sounds like Shaman might be, even though I was making fun of Shaman class at the start of the show, it might be something. Oh, that's a purple. Epic. All right.
You get so excited. I love the Innkeeper when you open an epic.
He's so excited. Combo. Okay, can you explain to me what a combo is?
Sure. So rogue is the only class. Basically, combo is like the rogue mechanic. The same way that like healing is a priest mechanic. Not the priest is the only class that can heal, but that's mostly what they do.
That's their thing.
It's their thing, yeah. So combo is a rogue's thing. And what that means is if you've played a card earlier on in the turn, then this card will do something. So if, say, I play a spell and then I play this card, instead of being a 3/7, it'll be a 6/7. If I don't play a card, like if this is the only card I can play in the given turn, then it's just going to be a 3/7 and that's it. So rogues are always looking to combo things out. So they have a bunch of different things, bunch of different like really low cost spells that kind of help you enable all of your combos. And so when you're building a rogue deck, you have to keep in mind not only the mana cost of all of your cards, but if you have combo cards, you have to factor in the mana cost of the card you want to play with the combo text, as well as the mana cost of whatever else you might want to play in that turn. So rogue deck building is really complicated, and so is playing rogue. I find it cool, but I can never get a hang of it. So my rogue is probably rogue and priest are my two lowest level classes.
It's neat when it pans out.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And like rogue is super powerful, and people who are rogue players are like ridiculously talented.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
All right. Undercity Valiant, another rogue card, deal 1 damage. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's 3/2. Yeah, 3/2 for 2 is pretty good. And then the fact that you can deal 1 damage, so that's 1 damage anywhere on the board. So it's again, it's pretty powerful. But you have to combo it with something. So like,
so you can play this Buccaneer.
On turn, you could play a Buccaneer, or like on turn 1, you could play the coin, and that counts as comboing. So you could play the coin, then you could play Undercity, and then you could ping something with your 1 damage. So
that's
take out that opponent's leper gnome or something.
Yeah, no, that's a much better strategy because nobody likes a Buccaneer. With the the mana coin counts as a card. A rare warlock card, destroy a random minion for each player. That's pretty crazy.
So yeah, that's an inspire thing. So that's every time you use your hero power. So when you life tap, you destroy a random minion, and if this is your only minion, then it's gonna get destroyed. So
that seems like a crappy card.
Yeah, it's kind of a crappy card.
I was just gonna say, like, for 6 mana to have a chance to destroy my own units, that seems...
Yeah, but at the same time, it could help you get rid of something on your opponent's side that you wouldn't otherwise be able to get rid of.
That's true. If they had like a really high-powered card on there, and it was their only one, and you had to sacrifice this dude to kill him, might be worth it. All right, let's see. Epic.
Oh no, the Dreadsteed! It's like the worst card ever.
I was just gonna say 4 mana. All right, but 1/1 summon a Dreadsteed.
So basically, you kill it and it resummons itself over and over and over and over and over.
So what if I kill it? What if I use it?
It doesn't matter. When it dies, it summons itself back.
So that might be good, like, cannon fodder for... I know, I'm just trying to like think why they would even create it. Like, even the art's kind of bland. But, like, I would think maybe there's a lot of Warlock cards that are, like, sacrificing demons, so to heal yourself, to deal damage. Maybe? But
maybe.
It seems like, you have 30 cards you can put in a deck. That might not be...
Yeah, that doesn't make the cut.
Might not be a solid choice. All right, let's spoil these here a little bit. Looks like another just standard ass pack. Yep, King's Elk. That was in the Hunter.
I kept calling it the King's Elk.
King's Elk. Yeah, sure. It's an elephant though. So
I know. It's an Elk actually.
Right.
But it's that extra syllable in there throws me off every time.
We went back and forth on nerd correcting each other. That was really nerdy. Reveal a minion in each deck. If yours costs more, draw it. So another one of those. It's a joust mechanic, I suppose.
Yes.
Really cool. Refreshment vendor. All classes.
Garrett loves this guy.
Yeah.
He basically throws carrots at you and heals you for 4 health.
Is it the animation he loves, or just the mechanic?
Well, kind of both.
Okay.
It's like... kind of the same idea as Zombie Chow. Is it can be really helpful against aggressive decks because basically turn 4 or turn 3 if you have the coin, you can basically heal yourself back up for 4 and you get a 3/5. So the whole idea of Zombie Chow is you get this really early minion. It's a 2/3, so it's hard to kill. It can kill 2 or 3 things, so it trades a lot. But then the downside of that is it heals your opponent for 5. So the idea behind this card, at least the inclusion of this card in a constructed deck, would be if you're facing a lot of aggressive decks, usually what you're focusing on is staying alive and killing the opponent's minions. So the idea is you're not actually doing any damage to your opponent. You're just trying to clear their board. So when you restore 4 health to both heroes, you can't heal up past 30. So essentially you're giving them 4 health, but it's not going anywhere because they're already at 30 and you're healing back up and you now have another tool to help you remove some of their minions.
That's true. And if you throw a taunt on that bad boy, might be pretty good.
Yes.
5 health, that's pretty stellar. Dalaran Aspirant.
Yes.
Asper.
Which I like this card.
Yeah, Inspire gains spell damage +1, and as a mage, does the spell damage affect your hero power?
No, spell damage doesn't affect your hero power. It affects all your spells.
So like your fireballs, your flame strikes.
Yes, but this effect will stack. So if you play this minion and then play your hero power twice, which there is a minion in the game that'll let you do that, then this would have spell damage 2. And then if you hero power again, spell damage 3. Like, it doesn't go away ever. So that's the kind of thing to keep in mind with these Inspire effects, is that once it happens, it doesn't go away.
Wait a minute, it stays even if this guy dies?
Oh, no, not if he dies, no. I mean, like, it stays with the card. The buff stays with the card. So you could potentially have a Dalaran Aspirant that has 4, 5, 6 spell damage if you've just been using your hero power over and over and over again.
Yeah,
and then your spells become ridiculously powerful.
Exactly. I've playing the Tavern Brawl. Some people, like you said, if they got a good hand to start and really got off on the right foot, that Inspire deck could really get crazy, because not only is there a card that in that specific deck that allowed you to play your hero twice, it allowed you to play it as many times as you wanted. There was a card that allowed you to play it for 1 mana instead of 2, and if you let it get out of hand, it could get out of hand, which it was pretty crazy. Is that a monkey riding a hippo?
Yes.
Perfect.
It is a monkey riding a hippo. This is the one that also throws bananas. So when you inspire, this is the guy.
Oh man, that's going in whatever I do for a deck. That I love that card. Well, I didn't love it because it was kicking my ass, but give your other minions +1/+1. This is one we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Mookless Champ.
And that makes your entire, especially if you're playing something, I've seen it played in the Totem Shaman deck, because the whole idea behind the Totem Shaman deck is that you're basically filling your board all the time with all of the totems that you possibly can. So then you're trying to use your hero power pretty much every turn, which obviously enables Inspire. And so because your board is full, you're getting the most out of Mookless Champion, because then you're buffing 3, 4, 5 different totems with this +1/+1, and it can just spiral out of control. It's another one of those snowbally cards.
I think that's who I was facing. It was a shaman.
It was a shaman,
it was a totem deck, and that's what they were doing.
Yeah, so Mookless Champion will go really well in anything that is a token deck, which is basically token decks are made up of any cards that create other minions. So like a Violet Teacher, when you cast a spell, will give you a 1/1 Violet Apprentice. Like basically, there's another one that I can't even remember what she's called, but she's got the Don't Mess with Tusker. She summons the boar.
Oh, yes.
So excuse me, sorry. Any card like that where when you play it or when you do something, it generates another minion on board. Those decks that are built around that mechanic are called token decks. Basically, they're just constantly putting more and more. They're always really small. They're always like 1/1s or 2/1s or whatever. But then they allow you to buff them in some way. And so druids and rogues are known kind of for token decks.
Interesting. Okay. This card looks great, and like I said, it is a monkey riding.
It's a monkey riding a hippo, so really you can't go wrong.
I mean, if you're not putting that in your deck, I don't know why. I can't help you. No YouTube series will help you, even if it is named with an amazing alliteration. So this warrior weapon sounds like it would be good for a taunt deck, right? Because it says every time you have a minion with taunt, gain +1. And,
yes.
Or is it just 1?
Gain +1 durability, which means you get another 3 damage swing with your sword.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really good because the Fiery War Axe is the one that everyone talks about, calling it the Fiery Wind Axe, a 2 mana, and it's 3/2. So if you can have a 3/3, then yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's why. But again, like
slime. But then you have something, the Fiery War Axe, that normally is a weapon in the 2 mana slot, and then you have Deathbite, which is normally the weapon you use in the 4 mana slot. And the reason that works so well together is you play your War Axe on turn 2, you use it on turn 2 and 3, and then you don't have a weapon anymore. So when you equip your Deathbite, like you're on your basically mana curve and weapon curve, like you're not destroying any charges of your weapon, you're not sitting there with a weapon with full charges, all that kind of stuff. So it kind of messes with that a little bit. It almost belongs in a totally new, totally different kind of a warrior deck. Like you probably wouldn't put Fiery War Axes in. You'd probably put a 1 or 2 mana taunt in, and then you would use your King's Defender or whatever that weapon was. You would use that on turn 3 as a replacement for your Fiery War Axe. Okay. So there's a lot of different. And tell me if I'm going too deep. Well, there's a lot of different strategies.
There's so many strategies, and I mean
there's so much to say about all of these cards.
We have 4 more packs to go through, so we might want to speed.
I'll shut up.
No. Don't shut up, because again, like I'm supposed to learn. Maybe like just we'll talk a little bit about each card, and then maybe the strategy comes in a future episode when we decide, all right, Ryan, you're going to build a warrior deck. And,
fair enough.
So Flash Heal, this is restore 5 health, 1 mana. That's like almost on par with, that's pretty good.
That's amazing. It's really on par with what the spell in WoW is. It's your holy shit card. It's a pretty cheap spell in WoW. It heals for a lot, and you basically can't do it, like it's not something you could do just over and over and over and over. It's got a cooldown on it. So, but Flash Heal in Hearthstone is very true to the spell in WoW.
Yeah, cool art too.
Yes, absolutely.
Druid of the Saber, choose 1, transform to gain charge, or 1/1 in stealth. It's neat.
Yeah, I really like the Druid mechanic, the choose what form you want to take.
Yeah, that's actually, I never even thought about that. That actually makes a lot more sense now that I think about it. This is what it takes. Another Dalaran Aspirin, as I like to call it now. Evil Heckler, which when you throw him on the board, he was part of one of the tavern brawls. He actually heckles people.
Yeah, he makes amazing comments.
The one thing I really love about this game is that they don't just have cards that you throw on and it's just like flaps onto the board. Some of these have custom animations, custom voices. It's just really cool. And that seems like a pretty good taunt, right? 5/4/4, or how do you say? Do you go mana
it's a
attack?
5/4/4/4. So it's 5/4 for 4 mana. This one is confusing because it's 4 health and 4 mana and 4.
Because I was gonna say there was a couple more.
The cost, yeah. So it's a 5/4, 4/4.
Okay, because
so 5/4 minion that costs 4 mana.
Perfect. So if I were to do this one,
attack, health, cost
3/5 for 4.
Yes.
Okay. Because a rare cut purse. Whenever this minion attacks a hero, add the coin to your hand.
So this is really interesting because, like we talked about earlier, the coin is such a good combo piece for Rogue, right? Because it gives you more mana. Like you're not losing anything, you're not spending any mana, but it will enable every combo piece in your hand. So
plus you get extra mana, which is really, really handy.
The coin is strong anyway. But yeah, so Cut Purse is a fantastic card in Rogue. Assuming it survives long enough to actually attack the other hero once or twice. So this is a kind of card that you might want to, say, coin out. But again, that depends. You kind of have to build around this, because 2 health is kind of easy to remove, so you have to always keep that in mind.
Yeah, my reaction to cards like this that kind of need to be on the board at least 2 turns to do anything useful, I always feel like I'm not going to play this until I have a taunt up, because no matter what, the other guy's just going to go straight for it.
Exactly. It definitely has a target right on its face.
Yeah, it's big, ghoulish face. And I can say that because he's undead. It's not rude at all. All right, 4 more packs. No legendaries yet, but that's fine. That's I'm all good with that. Seal of Champions, give a minion +3 attack and Divine Shield. That's pretty good.
Well, see,
I'm a sucker for Divine Shield. I don't know.
Yeah. And the thing is, there's a card in the game already called Blessing of Might, and that is a 1 mana spell in Paladin, and it gives a minion +3 attack. So essentially, you're paying 2 mana here to give something Divine Shield. So it on the surface, you're like, oh my god, 3 attack and Divine Shield, that's amazing! But really and truly, it's kind of not.
Okay.
If that was a 2 mana spell, that would be much more on par.
Oh, all right. Yeah, my first reaction is just because it's a 3 mana, seems like a low power spell card. But you're right, like knowing all the other cards that exist at the same time is like, well, we've already got a card for that, and it's called 1 mana instead of 3, and who needs Divine Shield? It's got +3 attack. Gadgetzin Jouster, reveal a minion. Okay, if you're so Joust mechanic, if yours costs more, gain 1/1. That is a pretty, I mean, like a 1 mana, like it's turn 1, turn it into a 2/3. Is that good? That's pretty good, right?
Well,
if you win.
the whole idea behind jousting is that the mechanic, or like the buff that your minion gets, has to be ridiculously overpowered if you win, because it's always 50-50 if you're going to win or lose, right?
Yeah.
So you can stack your deck in order to win more jousts, which basically means you don't want any minions that are kind of below about like 5 mana. You want just your removal spells and your removal weapons, because spells and weapons don't count in a joust. A joust is minion on minion. So if the only minions in your deck are 5 mana or higher in terms of their mana cost, you're going to win a lot more jousts than you lose, which means you don't really want something like Gadgetzin Jouster in your hand, or like in your deck, because say I have 2 copies of this, I could pull it in a joust. So when you are running a joust deck, the best way to stack it in your favor is to just have low cost removal spells. So then this card wouldn't really go in a joust deck.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to put it in a joust deck, then it's just a 1/2 for 1, and you might as well play a Goldshire Footman, because at least that has taunt.
Yeah, Goldshire Footman. For there, I don't know. Ooh, that's cool art. Silverhand Regent. Reagent. No, it says Regent. Inspire, summon a 1/1 Silverhand, recruit 3/3 for 3. I'm learning it. I'm getting there.
There you go.
Is that seems all right?
That's pretty good. I've been wrecked a couple times by this.
Now, it's an all-class card.
Yes.
It seems odd to me, because Silverhand Recruit is a Paladin card, is it not? It's a Paladin hero power.
It's the Paladin hero power, yeah. So those are the little 1/1 dudes that come out when the Paladin uses their hero power. So if you put this in a Paladin deck, you play this, you use your hero power, and then you basically get 2 dudes for the price of 1 dude. And then if you have, say, Quartermaster, which is a 5 mana 2/5, and what he does is he gives all of your Silverhand recruits specifically +2/+2, so then they get big beefy dudes. This really enables that really quite well. The only thing is that because Paladins have Muster for Battle, that's a spell that's 3 mana that gives you a 1/4 weapon as well as 3 1/1 Silverhand recruits. So you kind of have to make the decision, do you think you're going to be inspiring enough to make this card worth replacing Muster for Battle? Because Muster for Battle is just really, really strong. Because you get all 3 of them right away. But then you don't have the 3/3 minion on top of it. So it's all, Hearthstone is all kind of about the pluses and minuses, and what are you willing to give up to make room in your deck, and what kind of style of play fits you better. Yeah,
because a lot of people coming into this expansion had maybe many decks that they're comfortable with and really like, and now they're sitting here like, do I get rid of my weapon card and exchange it for this one? Like, and you play around with it. I don't know if you can copy out decks and duplicate them and stuff, but it seems like right now we're in the thick of it for people who are just experimenting a lot.
Oh yeah, ladder is full of people who are just playing around right now.
Cool. Frigid Snowballed. Spell damage +1. Sure. That, to me, I don't know if that seems...
It's kind of okay.
It's
He's just adorable.
He is.
Take Snowball.
Take Snowball, and my candle will not light. Ram Wrangler. If you have a beast, summon a random beast. 3 for 5. I don't know. I saw that one in the Hunter deck for the Tavern Brawl. Is this something that would interest beast-based Hunter decks, I guess?
It could. I mean, it's kind of expensive. 3 for 5. You can directly compare that to Anti-Keelbot. That's another 3 for 5, except for the Anti-Keelbot heals your hero for 8. Ram Wrangler could give you an Angry Chicken. Could also give you a King Crush, which is, the big, huge T-Rex that has charge and will eat your face.
True.
I mean, there's such a range in beasts. It's really hard to kind of say if he's good or not. Basically, it's like you get the effect of Web Spinner in that you get a random beast, and then you get a bonus on top of that because you don't have to pay the mana cost to have the beast. So he's mana efficient in a way, but he's also, it's just that extra level of RNG that it's like, do you really want to play around with that? Or would you rather have something like in the 4 to 6 mana range in your Hunter deck that isn't so random, is more reliable, is strong? Savannah Highmane for 6 mana. You can't beat that. That card's amazing.
Yeah, and I guess that's probably why it's a high cost, because there's a chance, it's random.
There's a chance that you could get a free King Crush. So, epic.
Another epic. All right, and that's good. All right, another clock. This is where we're getting to the point where it's like, all right.
Oh, yeah, we've seen him before.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, seen him? Yes.
We're starting to move along.
Much talking.
We're getting around. We're getting quicker here. Competitive Spirit. Secret. When your turn starts, give your minions +1/+1.
This scared the crap out of me because I totally forgot the Paladin's got a new secret. So dude played the secret and then it went off on his turn because it says when your turn starts. And I was literally sitting there going, wait, what? What the hell did I do to trigger a secret? I had to go and read it. And I was like, at the start? Oh, at the start of your turn. So this is really interesting because secrets used to go off on either turn. So you could trigger your own secrets, which was just this whole other way overpowered type of mechanic. So this is the first secret that we have that kind of harkens back to that. So you trigger it on the start of your turn. You don't necessarily control your board state right at the very start of your turn. And I think that's why this isn't necessarily overpowered. You can play this thinking oh, I have a whole board full of 1/1s. This is going to be amazing when they all get buffed. And then I do something like I play Consecrate and all of your 1/1s are now dead. Your secret goes off and nothing happens. So because you don't have full control over the board state, that's why this is a balanced secret. It's good if you can flood the board and I have no removal, but that's not likely to happen.
Yeah, it's a gamble. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
Epic. Sea Reaver. When you draw this, deal 1 damage to your minions. When you draw it.
Yeah, so not when you play it. And we've seen a couple of cards that kind of have this mechanic that something happens when you draw it, and they don't see competitive play because you have 0 control over when you actually pull this card. So it's another kind of whirlwind effect, which in Warrior, you have a lot of decks that revolve around doing damage to your own minions because then they get buffed when they're damaged, which is exactly how the Warrior class works in Warcraft. Basically, the more hurt you get, the angrier you get, so the more powerful you get. It's like the whole adrenaline rush kind of idea. So this can work in a Warrior deck if you could somehow control when that 1 damage to all your minions goes off, but you can't because it's when it comes out of your deck into your hand. So less useful than a lot of the other whirlwind effects.
Yeah, it just seems like you'd have to get really lucky, and you could get really unlucky if you have a bunch of low. Say the other guy, he's got lethal, he's gonna kill me next turn, but I did manage to get a lot of his minions down to 1, and then you throw that out, and the difference between having lethal was a couple of those minions at 1 health that just died because you randomly picked that card. And I could imagine you tearing that card out of your deck like immediately after losing one of those matches. So that's pretty common, that I would think. Fearsome Doomguard, standard 6/8 for 7. Seems like a pretty standard high mana card, except it doesn't have a power, I guess.
Yeah, it's just basically another demon in Warlock. Most of the demons have drawbacks. This one doesn't. It's actually pretty reasonably costed. The Doomguard for 5 mana is a 5/7 with charge, but you discard a couple cards. This is a 6/8. You can't kill it with the Big Game Hunter. 8 health is really hard to remove. So overall, I mean, like it just fills out the demons really in Warlock. There's a lot of things like Bane of Doom or Voidcaller that can kind of summon demons. Mm-hmm. So it adds more to that pool. Cool.
Yeah, that makes sense. And and like you said, usually they have drawbacks. This one doesn't, or any sort of bonus. Wild Walker, Druid card, 4/4.
This is one that I keep calling Wind Waker.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. It's give a friendly beast +3 health. That seems pretty cool.
Yeah, that's good. Beast Druid, I think, is really going to be a thing. It's one of the decks I'm a little bit less excited about, just because I've been playing Druid for a really long time, so I'm looking to switch out my classes. But if you haven't been playing a lot of Druid, Beast Druid is going to be really viable, I think, and a lot of fun to play. So
you have 2 rares in here. I didn't.
You have 2 rares, yeah.
How does that work? Another one of those. Right. Rare. We got a Tiny Knight of Evil.
Yep.
Whenever you discard a card, gain 1/1. Sure. Discard a card.
So that's like you discard cards with things like Soulfire or Doomguard. The text on those cards literally says, play this happens, discard this many cards. So for Doomguard, you discard 2, which means that would buff your Tiny Knight of Evil +2/+2, because you've discarded 2 cards.
Yeah. All right.
So it's interesting. It's one of those mechanics I think that we'll see. It's being introduced in this expansion. I think we'll see more of it in future expansions.
Cool. Well, like it seems like that would be a card that you'd throw into a deck of that mechanic where you are discarding a lot of cards, I guess.
Yeah.
Although you don't want to discard too many. You don't want to go too crazy.
Exactly.
We got another coin purse thingamajigger, so that's...
Cat purse. Cat purse.
Cat purse?
Yes, cat purse.
Oh, okay. All right, let's see. No legendaries, folks. Oh, well. But that's fine. We paid for 10 packs.
That's true.
Warhorse Trainer, your silver hand. That's your silver hand recruits have +1 attack.
Mm-hmm. So this is one of those ones that it's while it's alive. So this buff isn't going to persist past when you kill the trainer.
Okay.
But it's still really powerful because, again, like, Silverhand recruits are becoming Paladin's thing, right? So the more Silverhand recruits you have, and you now have multiple ways to generate them, the better these decks are. So you've got Quartermaster, Warhorse Trainer, all those kind of things that buff your Silverhand recruits, and then you've got your Hero Power, your Muster for Battle, and the other card we talked about earlier that I can't remember the name of now, that 3/3 that makes recruits as well when you use your Hero Power.
Oh, yeah.
All of that together, like, you can make a Paladude deck.
Paladude deck. Is that a thing?
It is now.
It is now. We just coined it. Paladude. That's pretty good. We got a lot of these. We're going to be dusting those, folks. Okay. Perfect. This is going to be an uneventful one. Power Shot.
And Power Shot.
All right.
So, not too bad. You got some good totem cards.
Yeah,
I think you can start looking at some, possibly a Paladin deck, possibly a Warrior deck, and possibly Rogue. Paladin, Rogue, and potentially Shaman. I think you've got some pretty strong cards for some deck building.
Cool. So I guess that brings us to the content end portion of the show. So I need my homework. I don't know if you had a chance to think about it, but it sounds like you may be heading in the right direction with what cards I'd be able to build. But I'll leave it up to you. What is my assignment for our off time between episodes?
Well, what I would like to see for next episode is you come with a built deck that you didn't net deck.
Okay,
so
no net decking.
No net decking. But if you need help, you can ask. So I'm letting you use your Hearthstone resources, just not the straight up internet.
Okay.
You can use people on the internet if you speak to them.
If I talk straight
Yes.
to. Now what about yeah, okay, and that makes sense.
It's knowledge gathering. You're not just copying a deck. You're talking to someone who will probably do exactly what I've been doing, which is explain their choices, which is, even if you're not making the choices, learning the reasoning behind it is going to help you in the long run. So, build a deck. I don't care what the class is.
But it sounds like shaman, warrior, or what was the other one? Priest, you said that would be? Based on the cards I've got for Grand Tournament.
You had a really strong priest card, at least one of them. I don't know if that's enough to build a good Inspire Priest deck, but you're on your way anyway. You definitely have the tools for a shaman deck. And then, what else did I say?
Rogue, I think.
Rogue, yeah, you did get a few rogue cards, so that might be fun to play around with too, with that combo mechanic.
Yeah.
So I want to see you build a deck, and then next time we'll go over the deck and I'll give you some pointers, and then we'll go play some games.
Sweet. All right. Well, so next week I'll have a deck built. I will try to continue my quest log and buy more packs and stuff like that, and just try to keep up with the game. And all right, so for next week, build a deck, have it here. We'll go through it. We'll take a look at it. We'll point out some things. We'll test it in a game, and yeah, we're already got our 3rd episode planned. Perfect. All right, well, this has been Ryan Rekt Ranked. Even though we didn't go into Ranked, but you know what? The best way to take on Ranked is to be prepared for Ranked. And part of being prepared is buying packs, opening them, and figuring out what each card does, and getting help with that too. So I feel like I've learned a lot. I got to process it. And I'll build a deck, and I'll start playing around with it. And I won't net deck. I will be honest, I did net deck a few, build shaman deck with base cards, and that's really what I've been doing to, clear quest logs, because I have no extra card. I have some, but not a lot.
Yeah. No, and that's fair enough. But for next week, you have to come with Ryan's shaman deck or Ryan's warrior deck. It
will be titled Ryan's shaman deck, not custom mage, custom druid, and you can tell which ones I net deck because they're net deck. As basic, and basic 0.9 because I didn't have all the shaman cards. I'm new, people. All right, so this has been Ryan Rekt Ranked. Jocelyn, where can the fine people find you?
On Twitter is the best place to find me. I'm at GIS Gamer. I do multiple podcasts and multiple streams, so if you want to keep up with everything I am doing, Twitter is where to find me.
Exactly. And follow her on Twitch, everybody, because it makes a fantastic Hearthstone-related thing. I won't say it now because then you'll all be saying it and then you'll be cursing me for saying it out loud. But I know a lot of people will be looking forward to next episode because I had a few people say, it'd be really good to cover deck building because I have no idea where to start. And like I said, the first place to start is to get packs in somehow, way or fashion, however you see fit. Just do it. Get some packs. Start off your collection. You can follow me on Twitter at rmurphy. Visit ryanmurphy.ca for more of my work. Gamers In, of course, visit the gamersinpodcast.com where we talk about Hearthstone and other games, not just Blizzard titles. And we'll be doing a new episode this week. And subscribe on YouTube and all that fun stuff. I do appreciate everyone watching and letting me know what I'm doing right and wrong and just plain silly. So just keep up all the awesome work, and thank you for watching. See you next week, everybody. I don't have a Hearthstone sign off. We didn't figure that out, did we?
Nope.
All right. Is that one? Nope. It is. Nope. What about back in 16 hours? I don't know. What's the quest log say when you open it up? Nothing. Well, I've run out of ideas.